our session so that it substitutes for our regular mentoring session.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and we've been talking, of course, this is like the going on the fourth year that I have been doing this. And what to major on mostly is family. Last month, I had a couple celebrating their 50 years anniversary in marriage. They were the ones I hosted last month, and they had a lot to say. And she was such a beautiful one. I believe we're going to have another amazing and educating time this evening. And thank you once again for joining.
You're welcome. Thank you for
Enoch
inviting.
at home. I would love to see his face.
No, Enoch is at school actually. So he's at a university that is in a different state.
Indiana.
In Indiana.
And we are in California.
So if he's going to show his face, then we would have had to invite him and prep him so that he can log on from where he is, but we were not sure if that was what you wanted. If you want to see him, I could send him a message that there's a special request for you.
I would not mind, so that we can have him say some things too.
Okay.
I hope you love that.
Let's give it a try. We'll give it a try, yeah, he's a Gen Zer, and they have their schedule and they need prep time.
My daughter will also say, like my daughter will also say, Mom, you know that I need to think about it, process it mentally, and be prepared. I'll say that, yes, it's true. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. So let me, they don't do the they don't do the showbiz, like and it's like, uncle somebody is here, come and dance for them. Or it's like, I don't feel like, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's their world.
Yes.
Honestly, that's their world. Need to respect it. We were taught that way, and we just in a lot of things, and we were messed up. Yeah. So admin, you can give us the music, let the music roll. Thank you.
All right.
Turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if you cared enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are equal
So Enoch has agreed to make an appearance.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I really appreciate that. That would be very nice. To be nice to have him here.
Can you hear her?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so he said he will come. He was just in the middle of something, so he said he will wrap it up a little bit, and then he will actually turn it down. He's cooking rice and stew. And he said he will just turn the light down a little bit and join us.
So you can continue while maybe like 7:30, 7:45, we can have him in.
Okay, so Enoch, they said like Nigerian time, 7:30, you can join in. So that's going to be in another maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, about 24 minutes. So you can still continue what you're doing.
All right.
Okay, love. Thank you.
Good one.
Love you.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Mommy, thank you.
Gbàdúrà fún mi, bàbá mi máa ṣeun rere, gbàdúrà fún mi. Tọ́mọdé bá hùwà burúkú, wọ́n á ní ìyá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Tọ́mọdé bá hùwà burúkú, wọ́n á ní bàbá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ìyá mi fọ̀nà tó dá mi láyé, bàbá mi fi wà tó dá mi láyé. Ayé tí mo wà yìí kò máa yé mi o. Ẹ̀yin ni Ọlọ́run kejì mi láàyè. Ìyàwó ẹ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára. Bàbá wa ẹ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára. Ìyá mi máa ṣeun rere, gbàdúrà fún mi. Bàbá mi máa ṣeun rere, gbàdúrà fún mi. Tọ́mọdé bá hùwà burúkú, wọ́n á ní ìyá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Tọ́mọdé bá hùwà burúkú, wọ́n á ní bàbá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ìyá mi fọ̀nà tó dá mi láyé, bàbá mi fi wà tó dá mi láyé. Ayé tí mo wà yìí kò máa yé mi o. Ẹ̀yin ni Ọlọ́run kejì mi láàyè. Ìyàwó ẹ ṣeun rere, bàbá wa ẹ ṣeun rere. Ìyàwó ẹ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára o. Bàbá wa ẹ ṣeun rere, ìyá mi máa ṣeun rere. Bàbá mi ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára o. Ìyàwó ẹ ṣeun rere, bàbá mi máa ṣeun rere.
So much, Admin. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining. Welcome to Family Meeting, the September session. Thank you. Thank you once again, Drs. Israel and Augusta Olaore. It's nice having you. And guys, if you're just joining, we're also gonna have Enoch. How many of you saw that video? We're also gonna have Enoch join us in the house. this evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you're joining in from. So this is family meeting. This is put together by the Center for Sex Education and Family Life. It's a franchise, the CSR faculty of the Praise Forward International. And this is running to 4 years now that we have done this. The Center for Sex Education and Family Life is an NGO where we give some of the products that we have to our communities for free. And I'm sure you all know that to get this kind of knowledge out there now is expensive. Even in Nigeria, where we don't believe in counseling and all this stuff, we all know now that there's a need to be engaged in conversations that will add value to us and our generation unborn. At the Center for Sex Education and Family Life, we engage in different outreaches. We do village outreach. Recently, I think it was in August, no, September, early September, we sent things to a community in Kogi State just to assist the women and children in that community. One other thing that we do also is to go to secondary schools where we talk to the children, the students in the secondary school on we do sexual education with them, and we also equip them with relevant information that teenagers require to live in our present world. We also at the Center for Sex Education, we also engage in counseling and therapy sessions. We also have a community for the divorced men and women, a thriving community. Actually, we have about 150 men and women in that community. So all we do is about family, polygamous family, monogamous family, because we want a healthy society. And this is the reason why we are here today. So the theme for this September edition is creating a legacy of healthy masculinity. Ladies and gentlemen, the templates with which we are running our life with is becoming obsolete. And there's a need for us to renew, to learn, to unlearn whatever information or knowledge that we have in time past. And this is part of the reason why we are here. So once again, I want to say welcome and thank you for always joining us. Like I always say, there's no family meeting without you. I'll just be here with my guests, talking to myself and having a conversation with my guests without you people in the room. So I want to say thank you very much for joining. Sorry, I just noticed, admin, are you recording? Okay, I see you're recording. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. So yeah, thank you. I've seen it. So while we are starting up, my name is Ebunlomo Faole, and I am the project coordinator for Center for Sex Education and Family Life. I want to meet you. Of course, Doctors Olaore, they'll also be introducing themselves. So I want to know where you are joining me from in the chat session. Can we come into this chat session and let me know where you're joining in from? Thank you. I want to see just to welcome you appropriately. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. I want to see where you're joining in from. Thank you for joining. Taiwo, Debbie, Daniel, Iyanolua, Olaomi. Zainab is joining from Ikeja. Thank you, Zainab, for joining. Hello, B. Good evening. Good evening. Adeolu is joining from California. Thank you so much, Adeolua, for joining. Who else in the room? B is joining in from Kaduna. Thank you, B, for joining. Thank you, B, for joining. I know that it's going to be an interesting one with you today. Who else is there? Toye, I want to know where you're joining in from. Shagun Shonowa is joining in from Lagos. We have Daniel from Bayelsa, Taiwo from Lagos. Thank you. It seems to me like Lagos people are winning the game this evening. Okay, Fumilola from Ibadan. Thank you so much. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Okay, so that we don't waste more time, Abosede from Magboro. Thank you, Abosede, for joining. So that we don't waste much time, I want us to go straight into the conversation. So we are redefining, like I mentioned, what it means to be a man in our world. If you take notes, the traditional masculinity usually emphasizes strength and power, but this somehow narrowed the definition down. And we want more because we discover that strength and power alone just lead to some harmful consequences for us in our families and in our society. So we're going to be talking about masculinity from every dimension. I have Dr. Olaore, Dr. Israel Olaore in the room, and Dr. Mrs. Augusta Olaore in the room. Of course, I don't have to tell you that they are parents and their husband and wife. So I want to ask Dr. Olaore, good evening, sir. Before I start asking my question, I would want to know, just introduce, can we meet you? Tell us a brief things about yourself, what you do, yeah, what you want us to know about you.
Good evening, and my name is Israel Bamidele Olaore. I'm a Nigerian, and I currently live in California, Stockton, California, where I work in the hospital healthcare system as a chaplain. My background is in pastoral ministry and education. I have been a principal, I've been an administrator in the university, I've been an associate professor at Babcock University, I've been a pastor in America, Nigeria. You know, all those things have happened in the last 40 years of my active ministry. And I'm glad to be married to my college sweetheart. She will introduce herself, but we met while I was studying philosophy at the University of Ife in the 80s, early 80s, and we've been together ever since. We are blessed with 4 sons. Our eldest son, Timothy, is 36, married with 3 children. Our second son, Ife, is 34, married with 2 children. Our third son, Onopemipo, Israel Jr., he is married and having fun. They've not started, no baby activation, you know. And then our fourth son, Enoch, that many of you met virtually, he's in the university. He's studying theater at Purdue University in Indiana, and he said he'll be joining us soon. So
how old is he?
Enoch is 20, so there's an 11-year gap between Okwe, who is 32, and Enoch, who is 20, will be 21 next month. So that's a brief. And together, we are co-owners and co-directors for Savaye Academy and Savaye Entity, and where we have an academy for marriage mentors, training and certification that we do in partnership with the University of the Pacific here in Stockton, California. So.
Wow. Who else should handle this topic if not you? If not you guys. Okay. Dr. Augusta, can we Can we meet you, please?
Sure. It's so good to be here in the family. I will say that we are family systems engineering practitioners as well. We went through our certification in 2016, right? So my name is Augusta Olaore. I'm a social worker by profession, and my specialty is in children and family. So, so that's my education and professional background. So my doctorate is actually in social work with specialization in children and family. In addition to all that my husband has said, I am the mother of our children. My passion has always been in empowering families and giving them tools that will help them to thrive and succeed in this time and age, in whatever time and age that they are in. So that has always been my passion. My calling ministry is that I will be a blessing to the families of the earth, right? So that has been my mandate. So my husband has said everything about our family background. So I don't really have anything more to say.
Thank you very much, and nice meeting you, ma'am. And sir, guys, please, if you are wowed with what you have heard, can I see the reaction in the chat box? These are premium Ori users. How did you do it? 36-year-old son with 3 children, like you don't look it at all. You don't look it at all. So I say you are premium Ori user.
Actually, that is true. Ori, each time we come to Nigeria, we buy tubs of Ori.
Oh.
So actually, it's not just an idiom.
Ori is our go-to, definitely.
Wow.
We are premium Ori users.
Wow.
I didn't know that as an idiomatic expression.
Like, I just said that, like, you look so good. You look
Thank
so
you.
good. Nice meeting you. And like I said the other time, who else should we invite if not you to handle this? And it just shows that I was having a chat with Daddy Olaore yesterday, and I said that you have embodied what you teach, and so I'm sure that the conversation will come easily, will just flow easily with you, and it's going to help us. And not about the masculinity alone, health-wise. She looks so healthy, so healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's genetic. Let me just say it's genetic. And grace. Grace or graceful genetics. Let me put it that way. It's the grace of God.
And you also took care of yourself.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, you took care of yourself.
Thank you very much. He has a very good spirit.
Oh, that's what we want to tap into today. That's part of the things we want to tap into today. Thank you very much. Admin, yes, I want the admin to share the video that attracted all of us. So if you don't have the background knowledge of why they are here, why I have been trying to bring them up during Father's Day, but I could not. But I think this is actually the right time. This is the appointed time to have this conversation, and that is why it is coming up now. So sometime in June, I just saw on Bella Niger screenshots or chats of a boy and his dad. And at the end of it, there was a video of the boy. And so that's the video we're going to watch. What came to mind when I saw that, when I saw the chat, I was like, wow, who raised this man? Because oh, what has this man done to himself to be able to raise this kind of, to be able to develop this kind of relationship with his teenage boy, teenage son. Like, Daddy even just said that he's 20, he's not even a teenager anymore. And that's the age children want to tell you, I'm old enough. I'm not a baby anymore. You can't just be, why are you checking on me? You don't need to check on me. I'm fine. You know, all those things. But you could see that it wasn't staged. It was so real. It's just the relationship that they had lived over time. And I was like, no, I want to know these people more and bring them on the show. And this is why they are here. And we have Israel's video, and I want the admin to play it. After the admin plays it, then we'll continue the meeting. Thank you very much. Admin, we can have you now.
Enoch just joined. So
That's it.
Where is he?
you will see him after the video.
Yes, I will. Admin, no audio. And I would love not Daddy's video, I would love to have the boys' video. Please let me know if that is possible. Otherwise, we can go on.
Yeah, it is possible. I'll bring it up.
All right, thank you. The audio, or is it from my end?
My dad. I really honestly posted that video because I saw all. Hi everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for all the love and encouraging words that were said and shown on the last video that I posted about my dad. I really honestly posted that video because I saw all the other videos on that same Define African Parents trend, and it just hurt me. Like, it honestly hurt me because I know that my parents aren't like that. My mom isn't like that. My dad isn't obviously like that. And so I just wanted to show that there are fathers like that, African fathers, that show love and appreciation for their kids, for their children. And on that note about my dad, here is the main man himself. Hi everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for all the love.
Thank you very much. Thank you, admin. That's the main man, and the main man is in the house today. Thank you very much, Daddy, for showing love to your children, and not only your children. Looking at the two of you, we know that you show love even to your wife. And we are talking about creating a legacy of healthy masculinity. If we're going to be real with ourselves, no woman can do it alone. And no man can do it alone. And there is that synergy that is required. Without the man's healthy masculinity, things will be messed up. Healthy masculinity shows up as husband and as being a good father. which in turn affects the mother's output as well. And that was why I said the woman cannot do it alone. If the woman alone is doing it, you will know that something is wrong somewhere. And this is why we have angry, aggressive, nonchalant women out there, because of the place of the man that is missing. I work with the divorce community, and like I mentioned when we started, we have about 150 of them, and I interact with these people. Last weekend, I hosted the men's locker room for men only, divorced men alone. And I could hear people needing help. And with the way our world is now, I think we need to go back to the drawing board. Let's give the respect to who, the person that deserved it, the person that needs to drive the affair of the home, and that is the man. But you know, we can't just give it to any man if the man himself is not healthy, and that's where the word healthy comes in. The man has to be healthy to be able to drive the vehicle of the family successfully. This is what we see in Dr. Israel Olaore, and that's why he's here. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Olaore. I just want to ask, so when Bella Naija shared that thing, how did you feel? How did it feel?
I would say I was surprised, and Enoch is here. He's the one who posted my private chats, private text messages with him over a period of time. He chose to post it in a challenge, African Parent Challenge, and it was that which went viral. You know, the nature of the conversations that we had, you know, and I was surprised. I was shocked. I think literally shocked. We were away out of town when he texted us and said, "Dad, you won't believe this."
No, he actually spoke to us about it.
Okay, it spoke to us. He
Yeah.
said, "I posted something yesterday, and right now it has 100,000 views. So, but it's still growing." I said, "Okay." So by the following day, it had like 500,000 views. And then by the next day, 700,000. I mean, it was just, and we were all shocked. And we're reading the comments. It had about 10,000 comments. We were shocked by the kind of comments that we were seeing about the dirt, the lack of compassionate fatherhood that people have experienced that makes them angry, you know, and very violent. Like somebody said, "I'll throw a fridge at my father," you know, something, you know, very violent things like that. And I think it was that shock that made us more aware of what we take for granted, you know, that is take for granted as in normal, you know. So that's my first answer. But Enoch is here himself.
Okay, so admin, please spotlight Enoch. I want to have him briefly on this call so that we can release him. Hi, Enoch.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us with that short notice.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Okay, so so part of the thing, one thing you said in that video was that you were shocked that people are saying things like that, and you know that it's not the experience for you. How did it make you feel eventually? Daddy said something now about, oh, it's normal. So when you now saw that this is beyond normal, this is not normal, because the truth of the matter is it's not a normal experience for everybody. So after that realization dawned on you, how did it make you feel about your upbringing and about your family?
In all honesty, I feel grateful. Like I feel like in this moment, I feel grateful and I feel loved because, like I said in that video, I saw the trend of other people's African parents saying all these harsh things to their children, like, oh, you got 96 out of 100. That remaining 4% is something, something like just, harsh, rude things that people like you wouldn't expect from someone that carried you for 9 months or nurtured you or wants you to be in this world. And so when I saw those things, it hurt me because I've been raised with the entire opposite. My parents tried their best to show that I'm loved and tried to be there for me. And so when I saw that, I was hurt. And I posted the video because I wanted people to see that this isn't how every single Nigerian or African parent is. I wanted people to know that there are African fathers out there who actually care, who know what mental health is and see it important enough to check on their son, like their male child, about it. Because the stereotype can be, oh, you're a boy, I'm a man, we need to be men and forget about all that mental health stuff. And they want to raise their child to be strong and nonchalant and not really care about emotions and just be the hard-headed man that they want them to be. But that wasn't the case for me. My parents taught me about being emotional and having my feelings in check, my mental health in check. And so all that to say, yes, I'm grateful and I feel loved by my parents.
Thank you very much, Enoch, for sharing. And I'm glad that also opened your eyes to the fact that things are happening out there. And so it's not the normal thing. And you want to stay on the course because this generational, so you pass it on to your own generation unborn, it's a beautiful one because it's not normal. That's just the word. It's not normal and it's sad. You said it. Fine. These people are angry with their fathers. Oh, my father didn't do this well. My father didn't do this well. And my question is, who raised those fathers? So you see what I meant when I say it's generational. And so there's a need to also pass it on. And that's why we are having this conversation. Thank you very much, Enoch, because you are the angel that God is using to liberate a lot of things, a lot of boys in the world. The chat and the video went viral. People became very inquisitive. And that was what drew that number to your post to say, really? Are there fathers like this? African parents? No way. And and I'm sure that video made a lot of people have a rethink. In fact, reading the comments under Bella Niger on Instagram, I could see people coming out to say, oh, God bless this family. Oh, this happens. This needs to be. And this is why we are here. So thank you once again, because somehow God has used you to bring this to the fore. And a lot of people are starting hosting events in this direction. So thank you once again, Enoch. And thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Aren't you lucky to have amazing parents?
Very lucky. This is the best lottery pick. Yeah.
Well, I would also just want to say that this is a reflection of who Enoch is, seriously. I mean, yeah, dad is celebrated, but for him to be a child that would have the courage to go against the grain, right? I mean, at the risk of being, stampede, virtually is like, this is not regular, but
normal.
to have a child that would take that. In fact, he had already done it before he called us and like, Mom, Dad, something is happening. No, I have done, it's like, I have committed, I don't commit to, and we're like, so what's going on? And then he told us, I want to publicly appreciate Enoch. It brings tears to my eyes because we have grown as a family. It's not always been like that. We grew into where we are, and to have Enoch do that, I celebrate him. I celebrate your son, for that courage, for believing in us like that, and choosing to showcase what is private, and you made it public. And, it's not everybody that will say, I felt hurt. I don't know if you heard him say it over and over again, that he felt hurt. He was emotional about the fact that people are not having the kind of experience that he had, and that they are having such a toxic relationship. I think that is a reflection of the kind of heart that Enoch has, and I just want to celebrate you, darling. I love you so much. You've made us so proud, and that's it.
What's happening? My chat session is not even buzzing. What's happening? Hey,
I think
you
they are overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, right? But it's so beautiful. And when Mommy was talking, it just dropped in my heart that could it be that you have an assignment? Could it be? Could it be? Right? I want to think about it. So what do you have to tell Mommy and Daddy before you leave?
Thank you. Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy. I appreciate everything that you've done for me. And I appreciate everything that you are still doing. I love you.
Oh, public display of affection. PDA. Thank you, Enoch. We love you too. You're the best, man.
All right, all the best, Enoch. I think we can release. Fine. Do your eyes.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, this is so beautiful. And this is what family is all about. Imagine you growing up. Imagine you raising your children in this kind of atmosphere where we're free to talk, where we're free to express ourselves, where we're free to, and where we are not the lion of the tribe of Judah. That is what tradition, that is what culture, that is what tradition defines masculinity. That is what, being strong, being intimidating and all that. I don't know if I'm getting it wrong, but the truth is, like I ask a question, who raised those men we are complaining about? And so I want us to go into the conversation. Daddy, who raised those men? And why are you doing it differently?
Thank you, Dr. Fawali. I would say that, we come from a very traditional, hardcore, do what I say heritage, commanding, domineering. And I think we have a lot of agrarian mentality, people who have to take their children to the farm, so they have to wake them up at a certain time, they have to take them to the farm and make them do the work. And then when they started going to school, because it was a lot of money to send a child to school, they have to use a lot of corporal punishment to make sure that you don't waste that money. So I had some of that upbringing, but it was not all the way. My father was a disciplinarian, and we feared him. I mean, what I mean fear him, it's actually fear him. I can imagine the times when I'll see my dad coming back from work and I've been playing and I'll have to jump some fences and run and be sitting at home doing dictation. 2 plus. This was in primary 4. I remember vividly, terror, just that fear of your parents. But I think as the generations moved, we came to discover that we needed to have an environment where children are not terrorized by their parents, because what that does is domestication. We domesticate people into uniform. This is how all of you will be, even if you have potentials or differential in intelligence or whatever. We merge everybody into the same mold, because this is the mold I use for your older brother. This is the mold I'm going to use for you. This is the mold for the girls, the mold for the boys, So I think it was convenience, trying to have conformity, which was easier than discipline, which is individualized. Discipline is individualized, meaning, look, this child's preferences are different from this child's preferences. This child's approach is different from this child's approach, So how do we mold each child? That's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. How do I mold a child according to the way that he should go? That is, what is a unique seed that God has given me, and how do I raise this particular seed as different from other kinds of seeds? The way you raise an agbalumo seed is different from the way you raise a tomato seed. Agbalumo seed is for long term before you can get anything out of it. A tomato seed is for short term. In 3 months, you have tomatoes. Or corn, 75 days, you have corn. It's different from an iroko tree or oak tree. So how do you nurture each person? And that is what we learned as we were raising our children, as a little different from how our parents raised us. My dad was also nurturing, but my dad was born in 1928, for crying out loud. So he comes from a generation of those who were raised to be stoic and hardworking. But by the time he was raising us, he was more gentle, but he still had that hardiness. By the time we are raising our children, we have tempered with more of discipline rather than domestication. So that's how I will start on this.
I love the illustration you just gave. And we all believe that we always call our children the seed that we have, just seed, they are your seeds. And this illustration now just to give me a level of awareness to say that, okay, so seed can be different seed. It doesn't have to be one, it's not only mango seed that God will give a family, or maize alone. All your 5 children should be maize. All the seed, all of them should be maize. So that's the aha moment for me to say, so you want to nurture the seeds that have been given to you. The number of weeks you will spend on the tomatoes, like Daddy said, is not the same number of months you will spend for agbalumo or mango or beans. It requires different number of times, different methods, right, to raise these children. I hope we are picking the learning. I hope so. That's the first one. The children, they are your seeds. They are seeds placed in your hands. And you need to nurture them individually. You can't put all of them together in a basket. And I love the fact that Daddy said it's probably the easiest way for the great grandfather's generation, our grandparents' generation. It was the easiest method. Put all of them together and use the same method. Use the same method with them, right? So thank you very much, Daddy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is it Vivier? Vivier said something in the chat, which I want to also pick. Said, Mommy said they grew as a family. I also picked that to say that you didn't start this way. It was a relationship. You grew into it. That means, like I think Mommy said that it has not always been like this. You know what you want, you have a vision, and you work towards the vision. Mommy, do you want to tell us? Do you want to give us? Do you want to shed more light into that? This is to help people know that. So whatever it is you're going through now with your children or your family, it can get better if you desire it and you're intentional about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to go back a little bit in the generational history, like we have been talking about, that we are like my husband is from the baby boomers generation. I'm from the generation X, that is right after him, because there's 5 years between us, right? But we were both raised by the silent generation. And the silent generation, our own parents, were raised to be quiet and to work hard. Don't rock the boat. They are the generation of Timbagbo Fin, that is, suck it up, swallow it, act right. Don't let anybody know anything is wrong. Just swallow it, And then we were raised with it's like, if I hear you, if you show, and then they're also the same ones that we use the proverb, is the person that looks at the eyes of the bride that we know that she's crying, because it is all, don't show or acknowledge emotions. All right. So that is how we were raised. That is how we were. I became more aware of emotionality because of my professional background, right? As a social worker, I became more aware of the role of emotions, but my husband was not there. My husband was the, typical man, even though he was a very kind and available to his children, but when it came to handling emotions, it was something that wasn't there. So we had to wrestle through that many times, painful times, but it became easier for us when my husband became more secured in himself, and I will say that healthy masculinity comes from secured masculinity. There was a time that my husband felt threatened a lot because of his own background. He avoids pain, and anything that will make him be in touch with pain, even his own, he would avoid it. And if anybody is going to trigger pain in him, he will, it's like, hey, he didn't want to deal with that until he grew to that place where he became more aware that, this is actually my issues. My husband developed a favorite word. It's called countertransference. Countertransference is, look, this is my own stuff. it is not you. I'm feeling agitated because I am uncomfortable with this, not because it is bad for that person. I am the one that is not comfortable with it. So let me deal with it. And the more he did that, the more peaceful he became, the more, and his humility also helped him to grow, such that even when he would miss it and the children will call him out, like, Dad, why did you talk like that? Because he is used to giving commands. It's like, okay, you do this, and then our adult children will be like, Dad, I would have really appreciated if you did this, and then very quickly he will be like, oh, I'm sorry. I did not intend to come across like that. So his humility allowed for that growth. And that was also modeled to him, like he was talking about his father. There were things that his dad did that offended us. But Grandpa, immediately it was brought to Grandpa's attention. Even towards Enoch, a very practical situation. There was a time that Enoch had, real dreads, bigger dreads. And he, we were in the US and Grandpa called and we were on a video call and Grandpa saw Enoch. He's like, what is that on your head? Don't you know you're a pastor's wife, a pastor's son? Come on. And my husband stepped in and said, Daddy, do you want to talk to Enoch or not? If you don't want to talk to him, then this conversation is over. This child wanted to talk to you, but you are all over him about his hair. And then his wife, beautiful mommy of blessed memory, was like, kinko, and immediately Grandpa was like, oh, Enoch, my son, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. How are you? And all of that, So that level of humility and peacefulness, I think, was also transferred to my husband, such that even when he is making errors, or coming across in an abrasive way, and there's a pushback, he immediately becomes aware. And he sees that, look, this is not about this child. I'm the one that needs to recalibrate myself. So I always say something, even about my own father. My father did a lot to hurt me. And I say, Dad, your humanity hurt me, but your humility healed me. And that has been a working principle. Our humanity will hurt, even the best of us. Even in all of this that we are saying, it doesn't mean that our family now is, look, Enoch still does things that we have to, we have to correct him on. We might say some things that he's not happy with, but that humility is something that we practice, back and forth, that gives us allowance. So I think.
Wow. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. And I love it when we are real. I love it when we're authentic. Because this is part of the things our religious organizations are getting wrong. And that is why we have this generation revolting. I love it when you come to tell us that, hey, guys, we have gone through, we have experienced, but we are working on the journey. I love that part to it. I love the fact that you help us know that the upbringing has not always been like that, but we desire it. And that was why even when Daddy is having, and you call his attention to it, he's ready to say, oh, I'm sorry. It's not that what you're saying is wrong. It's just the me that is not taking, that is not ready, or that is not taking that thing now, I understand the fact that what you're saying is correct. And this is what healthy masculinity is about. You know, you said something about healthy masculinity. With healthy masculinity comes from secured masculinity. Anytime I'm having sessions with couple, there's this particular thing, and that is what you have expressed. And I'm glad that every time I say that thing, it's not as if I was just being over about it. And that is, and I want every married couple in this room today to pay attention to it. To say that if any one of you, the husband is correcting the wife or the wife is correcting the husband, it's not because they are trying to be rude. It is because they desire the best for the relationship. It is the you that is in the subconscious that is fighting against the change. But if you can be humble, she said it, she emphasized this humility severally, to pay attention to whatever correction that is being passed across. And I think, Ma, a lot of times it's our trauma that is screaming. It is our trauma that's not helping us listen and to want to make correction. And this is part of the reason why group counseling is good. Now you have heard that even the almighty Olaore went through. Even Daddy has his own thing, but he has developed and intentionally worked on himself, such that even his children can say, Daddy, and he gets. There's no pride in it. I believe we can all see the peace of mind. It's radiating, you can see it. They are so at peace, they're so at rest. They can confidently come out to talk about it. They can confidently say, hey, we have a coaching academy. We can train you. Because I'm sorry to say, this part of the problems our pastors do have, our imams, because we place them in that holy space. And so it's difficult for them to take corrections, even when they are erring. And I don't know who is in this room this evening, this afternoon, or morning, wherever you're joining us from. Please, all those things, it's not, maybe it might not come across to you in the right tone or something, but can we always think about the intention behind it? Can we always pay attention to the intention that this person is not just trying to humiliate me or get back at me or make me feel something, but this person desires that we have a good life. And it is always a work in progress. I love what somebody said here. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I currently go through this wrestling with my spouse. You see, now that you know that she goes through it, she went through it, that means the outcome will be good. Be consistent with it. You might want to change your method. Maybe the particular method you're using is not working. You might want to be more empathic to say, okay, maybe it's your upbringing that is playing, but I will keep at it. This is just for you to know that it works. Things like this happen. They are from different backgrounds. They got married. So things might be different, but they work at it. So the determination to make the marriage work, the determination to raise healthy children, the determination to have a healthy home. They have 4 boys, and you can imagine that generation. 4 male children, you can imagine that generation. If they are raised with love and care and attention like this, you know that anybody that come across them is going to go or leave them in peace. You won't see the harshness or being rude or being manipulative and all that. And imagine if that their sons had gotten married, 3 of them are married, and they have grandchildren. Imagine the ripple effect. If we all can do this, if we all can embrace this healthy life, imagine the ripple effects in our world. Imagine the ripple effects in our generation unborn. And this is part of the objective why we are doing this. Daddy, I want you to talk about that secured health, secured masculinity that she talked about. I know that as a man, we want to be like, but you know that what this one is saying, what these children are saying, is actually right. How did you manage? How did you manage that without feeling hurt, without breaking? How did you manage that journey? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Well, thank you, Dr. Fawale. Secured masculinity comes from knowing yourself, and then having a sense of ownership. It's self-leadership. Starts from self-leadership. Self-leadership is self-awareness and environmental awareness. That is, who am I? Then who do I have within my sphere of influence? And what is my impact on them? Or how I respond, react to what stimuli from my environment. And what I've discovered for myself is that once I know that I have a purpose, I'm going somewhere, and I have a drive to achieve that purpose, I am not intimidated by the people within my circle of influence, So it's intimidation that makes a person feel insecure. I'm not, my wife is sanguine to the nth degree. Let me put it that way. She's very vocal, very opinionated, she's sanguine choleric, which is a wahala by itself, And it took me a while to discover that, look, this is the way this girl is wired. There's nothing I can do about it. I am phlegmatic. I have a little sprinkling of sanguine. When I'm in the party, I can come out and, be boisterous, but I have to retreat to go and recharge. But she recharges in the
the people.
So I've discovered that, look, this is who she is, and it's okay. Let her be. I'm not intimidated by who she is, and I'm not intimidated by her opinion of me, because sometimes that's another thing. An opinion that people hold of us begins to shape how we feel about ourselves. So a secure man can be corrected if he's off course, but he needs to know that he cannot be allowing everybody's opinion of that man, to determine where they are or where they are going. So I am secured in my person, I'm secured in my purpose, and my wife is my purpose partner. So she's the closest person to me who can hurt me the most. And if I've chosen that what she brings, I'm not going to allow it to be a hurt, but I'm going to allow it to be a blessing, correct me or redirect me, add value to me. I know she means well, I'm okay, But if a person is always agitated, like, what's she going to do now? What's she going to say now? How's that going to affect me? How's that going to take away from me? It's because your life is almost as it were dependent on that other person. And their moves or lack of moves are now determining your move. So once again, I'm going back. You have to have a purpose. As a secured man, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a meaningful drive, a vision, and know that you are going somewhere. And the people within the circle of your influence, you are aware of where each person is coming from, how they can add to you, and how you can be blessed by their input. And with that, my children are professionals, and we have our second son is an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. He owns different businesses. He's managing our finances in terms of our investment, conversations. How much do you have? Where can I help you invest it? If I was the typical African man, like I used to be, it's
Which
like,
we were.
you want to ask my money? No, don't ask me. Why do you want to borrow my salary? The boy is an investor. He knows what he's doing. Other people pay him. So what's my problem? So that's what I'm just saying, that we just need to have a purpose and know that the people within our circle of influence add to that purpose. And we are not intimidated. So those are the words. Purpose-driven, not intimidated. You are secure. And then you are aware of your own emotional what are you emitting? What kind of emotions are you emitting? Emotional contagion. What kind of emotional contagion is going on around you, so that you are a positive influence, So.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Daddy said something when he started responding to that question, who am I? If you know who you are, then you won't be intimidated. If you know who you are, you'll be able to stand. And whatever comments anyone is making will not shift you. Right? It will not shift you. You won't be intimidated. It will give you that level of confidence to process in a healthy way instead of putting up a guard. You process it well to say, okay, what this person is saying. I guess that was what helped him, right? To say, I know who I am. And did you hear what he said? He said, if I follow this woman's level of choleric, I'll be taken off guard. So this means that for every married couple, you need to know your personality and know your partner's personality type. You need to understand that level. When you understand that, then you won't read meanings to whatever anybody has to say. And talking about who are you, the person that you are, the person that was created fearfully and wonderfully, it's not the person that your parents try to form you into. So I'm going to say that whatever you are going through, whatever you have gone through, is not your fault, but it is your responsibility not to remain there. That's the challenge for us this night. Some of us have been battered. Some of us have been domesticated. Our parents think they were disciplining us, but we were being domesticated. You want to take a step back to say, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What emotions am I really emitting? Will this take me to the desired end that I want? Like I see somebody wrote in the chat, Akinola said, I think that was one of the major things I had to go through while I was planning to get married. I want to be a humble father. That was a desire. So he wanted, then he didn't even have children, but he wants to be a humble father. And that alone will determine the kind of books he reads, the kind of people he pays attention to, the kind of emotions he emits, and he'll be able to guide all those things. What are you doing to yourself? Remember, I said, it is not your fault that you were raised by these people. You were raised the way you were raised, but it is your responsibility not to remain there. How many of you see your child or your children, you're being called to school every time to say your son is a bully, your son is doing this, your child is doing this. You're not happy about it. And we want to ask, because if I have any student like that, I said, who are the parents? How are they raising him? because the boy cannot fall far from who is raising him, the kind of emotions, the kind of energy the boy is exposed to. And so you see why healthy masculinity is important. It will help you have healthy children. It will make you a healthy husband, and you will have healthy children. And it will even influence and affect the input or the level of input of the wife, of your partner. So there's a ripple effect around it. And it starts with the man. The truth is, where I come from in Africa, we practice the patriarchal system. And the man is still the one. Anything happens, they say, ah, it is you now, you didn't do it well. But are you giving the women enabling environment to thrive, to be healthy, to function well? Very important. The women are not contending. If you take time to think about it, that woman is not contending with your position as the head. That woman just wants a healthy and a beautiful relationship and home that she can be proud of. Maybe that's why she keeps complaining and nagging you. You want to think about it. Who are you? What kind of energy are you emitting? So I want to go to mommy now. So daddy described your personality type. The choleric, sanguine, right? I know that a lot of women eventually become that because of the kind of environment that also raised them. They don't want to grieve. Maybe yours is not like that. Maybe yours is just a goal-getter thing. But there are some women that end up becoming that. Maybe some of them just feel this man is just too laid back. Why is he not doing what he's supposed to be? Why is he not manning up and all that? And this has broken a lot of homes. Can you share with us how you've been able to manage it and not step on Dr. Israel?
Yeah, stepped on me. Stepped on me where? Sorry, it's your turn. Sorry, it just came out. That thing just came out.
Hey, because you're going to explain, you're going to describe it to us. But
No,
at some point,
no, she does a good job of it. No, she can.
Okay. Please tell us.
Okay, with no apologies, public declaration, I am a sanguine with a good sprinkle of choleric. And that came about by one, my nurture and my nature. In terms of my nature, I believe the way God made me and wired me, He wired me for leadership and outward, and maybe to some people may look aggressive, but I think it's for a purpose, for who I am to be in the world. And then by nurturing, I'm the first child of 7 brothers, of 7 children. I'm the first child. So not only is it that I have 4 boys as children, I have 6 brothers.
Wow.
Yes. And the first.
I don't think we should expect anything less. So
this is number 1 Iron Lady for you, right? So I had to drill my, I just had to, I was like this fearsome, I was this fearsome, she who to be feared in the house, right? Because I just had to make sure that everything was in order. I was mommy number 2. And of course, and if things go wrong, who gets blamed? You know better. What did you do? Why did your younger ones, blah, blah. So by nature and by nurture, I came into that very strong personality trait, very adventurous, very fun-loving. Even if I'm going to do hard work, I want it to be fun work, very spontaneous, which is everything that is opposite to my husband. My husband is very flag. He's very calm. Don't rock the boat. Hey, my husband can wear the same tie. When he was wearing ties, he can wear one tie for the whole year. It is calm. It is cool with him. Now that he doesn't wear ties, he wears his filler. He can wear that one for, it's like, it's so easy for him. I'm the one that, color now, let's move these things around, right? And I had to understand him and know that nothing do him. There is nothing wrong with him. I had to move away from the place of shaming, because shaming was a big part of, shaming, and it's not intentional, but when you make somebody feel dumb for who they are, what is that called? It's shaming. So my husband will say something and he will say that even the expression on my face is, there was who were having a conversation one day, and obviously my husband had no clue about what he needed to say or what he needed to do. And I was like, how can you be talking like this? And then he was like, I'm feeling bad because of the way you are talking about me not knowing what I don't know what to say, because I really don't know what to say. And we laughed. I laughed because it was a level of self-awareness on his part. In fact, I'm telling you guys, we've been married now going on 38 years next year. I have had the best part of my marriage in teamwork only in the last 2 years. Better, we've always had a great marriage, I thank God, but I'm enjoying it more. And why am I enjoying it more? Because my husband came into a place of self-awareness and giving himself grace. He came to accept that I'm not perfect. I have quirks, things that maybe I would be so careful, like, I don't want to tell my husband that he's talking this way or he has this annoying behavior. He himself will say, I know myself. I know my things, and I'll be like, really? He said, yes, now, so, and then he now submits himself to, okay, so help me. How can I do this better? He chooses to become my student, right? He comes to my school and I teach him, okay, let us do it this way, and vice versa. So that's the way we've been able to blend our personalities. But first, I had to be very much aware that I could be overbearing, and that I became aware that he has had to be enduring a lot from me because of my body language, of my tone of voice, that I would just, I was not aware of. And then he would call me out. It's like, don't look at me like that, your face. And initially I'll be like, what is wrong with that? That is how I am, deal with it, But I'm also learning that, I'm getting a feedback that is impacting the person that I love, because I really love him and I don't want to intentionally hurt him. So if he's telling me that you are hurting me, what kind of love is that we want to continue to do the thing that is hurting the one I love? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not aware of my facial expression. I'm sorry. So how will I do it differently? Okay. If I will practice, okay. So instead of me going like this, okay, maybe I should go like this. These are things that we do. It sounds funny, but in the long run, it gives us a more peaceful life, really. Look at us now. We're the only two. The children are gone. We enjoy each other's company. We laugh at the craziest thing. We laugh at each other, discoveries of each other's failures and all, and we don't take it personally, like, are you trying to control me, or are you trying to do this? No, because we give each other grace. He gave himself a lot of grace, And I think that is part of healthy masculinity. A healthy man accepts his limits, is aware of his limits, and gives him permission to be imperfect. It's like, I don't get that one, help me, you know? And then he's able to actually give that to other people, right? Because he knows that he's not perfect. He gave himself grace. So he gives me grace for my imperfection. He gives the children grace for their own imperfection.
Wow. You know, this is the content we need to be sharing. This is the kind of content we need to flood our social media with. Guys, please applaud this couple. This is authenticity at play. This is real life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Augusta, for being so open. And thank you for being so vulnerable to let us know that there are times you were overbearing. There are times you know that you also did overboard. But because he knows who he is able to say, "Oh, thank you, thank you. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not like you. Fine, I accept. So can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me to? I want to, right?" And that's a lot. And my question for you, sir, is this thing happening there. And she said this is the healthy masculinity. Healthy masculinity is a man knowing his limits and asking for help. And this is what is missing in our men. Like I said, I work with divorced men and women. And I sit now in the counseling room and I'm asking questions. So tell me 10 beautiful things about your ex. And they're writing the list is going to 15, going to 20. And I'll be like, so what happened? So you have beautiful things to say about your ex-wife and ex-husband. So what happened? She's caring, he's loving, he's good in bed, he takes care of me, he gives me money, he does this, he cleans the house. So what happened? A lot of time it's this ego. A lot of time it's this ego. Not wanting to be defeated. And that was why I used that word. That we need to get to that point in our relationship where you know that this person is not judging me. This person is not labeling me. This person just wants us to have a beautiful relationship. And so, Daddy Olaore, why do you think men don't want things? We have a lot of men in this room, and I want you to speak to their hearts. I know that at times women can be overbearing, but the truth is, when women notice things, they pull back. The sensible ones, though, sensible ones, when they notice some resistance, they tend to pull back. When they notice you're being vulnerable with them, they want to pull back. Say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. And that is the space, that's the time we're supposed to take advantage of it and just mend relationship. But you just see that everybody just go into their shell, and that's that building and causing trouble in the relationship. Why is it that if we look at the number of people in this room, I'm sure we can count the number of men. Men don't want to. They don't want to be told things. They don't want to. I don't know. Why do you think men, and what do you think they can do? What do you think men can do? We are talking healthy masculinity. It starts with us as parents, because you can't give what you don't have. And we're talking about legacy. If you don't have it, how do you put it in your children? So how do you build the legacy? How do you create that generational inheritance of healthy masculinity in your children? Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I want to first and foremost celebrate the young men who are invited and who are here. Adeolu, James, and Akinola and a few others. I want to celebrate them because, you know, there are men who have brought themselves under our leadership and asking to be mentored. And I invited them to this, which is very different from our time. And they came. So I want to really celebrate them. And the reason why is because every man should know that there is room for improvement. Where you are, or where your parents dropped you off, the bus stop they dropped you off, that's not the last bus stop. It's the beginning. And in most cases, the curriculum they gave you was so rudimentary, it can't carry you into the unknown future. So you need new curriculum to deal with the challenges of marriage. Let me tell you another thing. The biggest gift that a man can have in his life is a woman for growth. The biggest tutor, the biggest gift for you to grow is a woman, not a woman that is subdued. You know, a woman that is subdued is useless to you as a man. A woman that cannot be a window to your soul for you to see those things you cannot see about yourself is useless to you. So if you have a woman that you have broken, like you break a horse, that is no longer able to tell you truths. We had a conversation the other day. You know, my wife and I, we went for a walk and we came back and, you know, something happened and I said something and I was on my way to work. You know, I was ready to go to work. I was actually running behind schedule and something came up and I knew that I had to stop the clock and deal with it. That is, I'll be late, but I'll deal with it. But what ended up happening is that we came up with some things about our communication that was off, that we needed to tackle. My wife held her position. I held my position. You know, we back off, come back off, come back, until we had an understanding of what we were trying to deal with. And it was all ministry related, you know, but it was tough. So I was leaving. She said, "You've not given me a hug." Okay. So I came back. It was tough. I'm talking about 8 in the morning, trying to get out of the house. And you have to stay back for 20 minutes to resolve this because you cannot leave it unresolved, you know. But the point is, I was the better for it because what I said it with all innocence, but she said, no, it didn't come out right. So I said, well, give me the words to say for next time. Say, well, not like that. This is how it came out to me. And we wrestled with it. And I grew. Later in the day, my wife sent me a text message. "Honey, it was not my intention to stress you out this morning. Please forgive me." So I text her back. I said, "Sweetheart, there's nothing to forgive. I mean, it was communication, but at least for you to even think that you stressed me, you tried." Because you stressed me, you know.
But it was good stress.
It was good. We grew. We both grew, you know. So there are so many things you don't know about yourself. Anybody. There's so many things. There's something in psychotherapy called the Johari's window. The Johari's window has 4 panels. And one of the panels is what you know about yourself. Another one is what other people know about you. And then the other panel is what you don't know about yourself. And the next panel is what others don't know about yourself that you discover together. So can you imagine that there are 3 areas of yourself you don't know? But we go around as if we know everything. So that is what I'm saying, that every man that wants to grow and deepen in their relationship with themselves and with their wives need to be teachable, because God put your wife in your life as your growth salvation partner. So you have a spiritual friendship that is meant to grow you. Go and read Ephesians 5 again. For those who are Christians on this call, yes, I'm sorry. For those who are Christians on this call, the book called the Bible, there's a book in it called Ephesians, the Surah 5, ayah from 21 to 33. If you read it, it will change your life, because it is foundational to say, look, the woman that God puts in your life is meant to polish you, not punish you. Polish you and make you come out better. The man God put in your life is to polish you and make you come out better. So that's what I'm saying, that my wife is my completer. She's my completer. She's the one God puts in my life to complete me. She is my, a friend of mine said it differently. She's my multiplier. This girl is my multiplier. She's my completer. And if I can know it that way and not be stubborn, I'll be the better for it.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is a beautiful session, guys. If it has worth your time, can you please drop in the chat box? Let me see your reaction. Okay, Ivy is asking, what are the 3 points? What are the things what are the 3 things you would say have happened the most for the both of you? Okay, so let's just celebrate them. Let's celebrate them. We'll take the questions. We have 2 questions already. We have 2 questions. I want to see the reaction. Has it worth your time? Has it worth your time? Can you celebrate them? Celebrate our guests for being so vulnerable. This is beautiful. Last month was what I thought was beautiful, but man, you guys have taken it to another level. The level of authenticity and vulnerability is out of here. Dr. Olaore said, all that you know is not all that there is to know. There is more to yourself that you don't know. And all you need to do is to allow yourself to be teachable. That way you will always be better for it. You're not going to be fighting and be feeling ego. Oh, somebody bruised my ego and you stress yourself. You know, stress, that anger and all that, man, it's a lot. I don't know why some of us just enjoy it. Guys, please, that woman in your life is an addition. Ladies, that man in your life, sorry, it's a multiplier. That woman in your life is a multiplier. Women, that man in your life is a multiplier. The 2 of us need to work together to achieve a beautiful and better society. We are all complaining about Tinubu. We are complaining about, for those of us in Nigeria, complaining about our government. Who raised them? What? All those things, very important. Appreciate the women in your life, appreciate the men in your life. This way we can have healthy masculinity, healthy husband, healthy fathers, that we allow the woman to have beautiful and positive input, and we're able to raise healthy children. This will affect and change our generation. This is the legacy we're talking about. So there is a question here. Ibie said, what are the 3 things? So any of you can respond to the question. What are the 3 things you would say have helped the most for both of you to work as a team in parenting? So we're saying parenting now. I know you mentioned humility. So what are the 3 things?
Yeah, so humility is one, right? And then the second one is grace. You know, the one that I talked about, grace, giving yourself grace, and then giving the children grace, giving each other grace. You know, knowing that we are all work in progress, actually, and not to be so bent over backwards with our own imperfections. So I give myself grace, like, you know what, I didn't get it. I need help, you know, and let me move forward. There's still a good part of me. It's just this one that I didn't get, you know. So giving grace, you know, for our humanity and giving that grace to others. Like I said, knowing yourself, because you see, when you are able to differentiate your own issues from your children's issues, it makes you a better person to serve them as a parent. Because I have had to deal with that a lot, you know, that in my parenting, I mix my own issues up with my child's issues, okay? But when I'm able to say that, you know, the fact that I am uncomfortable with this does not necessarily mean that my child should be uncomfortable with it. You know, they live in a different world. Where in another webinar like this, when we're talking about African parenting, and one of our second son was on the call, and he said something that shocked everybody. He said, my parents were preparing us for a future that
they did not even know existed.
That they did not know existed. That was heavy. You know, that our parents were preparing us for a future that they did not know existed. So the only way we were able to navigate it is, yeah, one, knowing ourselves and being able to separate our own issues. So when our first son was going to have his first child, as a millennial, because he's a millennial, Enoch is a Gen Z. So our millennial son posted on social media the ultrasound of his baby. Hey, for an African mother, it's like, these children, in my culture, you don't even announce that you are pregnant until the, you know, so that the witches will not come and suck. You know, so my head was like, hey, these children, you know, and I was feeling all this agitation and questioning his you know, his sense, you know, and his decorum and his decency and everything. And I had to call a timeout. It's like, wait, who is feeling all of this? Shebi, it is you. Feel it inside your own. You are the one that is uncomfortable. You are the one that is, that is the world he is in. Now they do gender reveal, not only naming ceremony. When they know the gender, hey, you know, it's like, that's their world. They're comfortable. They don't believe all those things that you believe. Where is the witch from where to where that wants to come and suck out the baby from inside from where? She, the same juju that they could not use to topple Trump and
our country.
You know, from the village is the one, you know. I had to start to recalibrate myself, rearrange myself. And I'm saying this, that in parenting, you have to separate your own issues, know your own self, and be able to separate your own issues from that of your children and deal with it separately. When there are commonalities, okay, you are able to identify that, okay, oh, I can identify with you. When you can't identify, be very honest, you know, I don't know what it feels like for you to be doing this, you know, help me understand, but I'm not going to crucify you or shame you for what I don't know about you. And we always say something about you connect before you correct. We always want to jump to correct our children without connecting with them, connecting with their world, connecting with their emotions, connecting with their motivation. And then if you now see you need to rearrange something, it is a proposal. It is a recommendation. It is not a command.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Humility, grace, give grace. We are all work in progress. Respect. Respect their opinion. They also have brain. Because you are the parent does not mean you know it all. So let them have it their way. You can only help them balance. And she just said it, that what you do in that situation is not to impose your opinion, but you need to also connect to them before you can correct. You can't impact or influence a generation you don't understand. So that's where the connection comes in. You need to understand them before you start, because if you don't understand them, you will do it wrongly and they will just be looking at you like, what's wrong with this one? Right? I know there was a time my daughter will come home and she would be having problem in school, but she would not say anything. And if she needed to say it, she would be like, Mommy, I want to tell you something. Okay, what? Mommy, please promise me if I tell you, you will not shout. So I'll promise. Mommy, please promise me if I say it, you will not come to school to fight. Then I'll promise. But this is what we do. And that's the reason why, for those of us that have younger children here, they don't come to tell you what's happening in school, because you will just be too dramatic about it.
Yes.
And so they prefer to keep it. So we need to connect with our children before we'll be able to correct them. You can't impact a generation you don't understand. So we need to pay attention to what they are saying and what they are not saying. And Mommy Olaore just said it, that calm down. It's your opinion. All these things in your own head, they are not seeing it. I can imagine going on social media to post scan. Kilo the Osho and the Ajay of my father, all the enemies of my father's house. You want them to see it. But that
they don't use social media. They don't use social media.
They'll just do their wand like this. There's a mirror they are watching in their room that they are using.
The calabash of water.
God help us. That's the way we were saying. But these children don't understand it. And you don't want to instill fear into them by bringing that idea into them, because you're just instilling fear. I remember one of the ladies on the divorce community said the daughter was crying that she wants to change her school and she does not have the money to change the child's school. So we started asking her, why do you want to change the school? Apparently, she went to spend a holiday at dad, the summer holiday with their dad, because they are divorced. And there was a time she was sick. So the dad told her that sickness that time is because you are the one that is taking gifts, taking presents. So the parents in the school, they are not happy with you. That's why they inflict you with that kind of disease. I'm talking about an 11-year-old girl. And so resumption came and the girl said, I'm not going to that school. And the mother didn't understand. We have to call pets. She was also trying to protect the dad. So she didn't say it, not until we pet her. And she said, and daddy said, when I was sick that time in December, it's because the parents of the children, the students of my mates, they are not happy with me. So they are the ones that, so you can imagine that kind of mindset. You can imagine for an 11-year-old, that was too much. we have to do cognitive restructuring and help her understand that, no, you have a stand in God. God cannot allow that, just get something to help her change before she agrees to go back to that school. So what is our parenting like? We need to check it. Somebody is saying, my wife had a quite challenging upbringing that makes her feel afraid of parenting. Yeah, I understand. I can imagine. It's a lot. It's a journey. And here I will call on the admin. Admin, please. So we have a class coming up in November, I think. The new rules of parenting. The new rules of parenting is a class that will be taken by Praise Forward. And Akiola, you want to enroll, you want to ask the two of you can attend the class, actually. You want to subscribe for the course. Admin, please drop the link. We have the new rules of parenting class, which will help all the things we're talking about, going back to how we were raised, and all that will be discussed in the class. So please, I want you to, admin, please drop the link, and it will be nice to have you in the class. Zainab said the man in your life is to polish you and not to punish you. Thank you very much, Zainab. I have another question here by Taiwo Kolawole. I have a daughter, 15-year-old, who is my first daughter, but always reserved at home. I have tried to be close to her and know what the issues are, but she keeps saying nothing. Her mother has equally tried this. She's indeed doing well in her academics and stay alone in her room most time, but was not forthcoming on why she is moody. What should I do? This is a way worrisome. Mommy Olaore, you are a child psychologist. Do you want to respond to that question? And if you want this person to see you, please feel free to share your details. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it can be so concerning for a 15-year-old, to withdraw, okay? But developmentally, that's what she's supposed to be doing, actually. 15-year-olds, they're 15-year-olds, they're in that place where developmentally in child psychology, they are finding themselves. So they are separating themselves from their parents and that is why we talk about identity crisis happening with teenagers. It is a process that she is going through of discovering who she is away from the parents. That is why teenagers feel more comfortable with their peers. That is why teenagers feel embarrassed being with their parents in public. It's not because they don't like their parents anymore, but it's like they are seeking for their own identity because their developmental task is they are going towards adulthood, where they're going to be themselves. They're going to be their own person, right? So it is not abnormal, okay, for a 15-year-old to be by themselves. What you want to do as a parent is, one, to be affirming of who they are. Just let them know that I'm here for you whenever you want to talk, all right? Then you probably also want to find out their personality. Do you really know their personality? Maybe they have a personality that is melancholy, maybe they are introverted. You want to find that out as well, and once again, be very affirming of them, letting them know that you are not judging them, but you care about them, and that you are available for them to talk to. And if they would prefer to talk to someone else, give them the freedom. Find out what is going on in their world rather than be like, what's going on? Because if you say what's going on, they will say nothing because there's nothing they want to talk about. But you can ask them, some pointed questions. Tell me about your friends. And then knowing that you are going to listen to them non-judgmentally. Non-judgmentally. When a teenager knows that a parent is going to be dramatic or is going to judge them. They're not going to say anything. When my children were teenagers, we do something that I call, going back now, maybe I'll call it like therapy sessions with my children. And do you know what that is? I will lay down. Say, yeah, sit down here. Now I am not your mother. Now I'm not your mother. I am just a listening head. Okay? I promise you, whatever you say, I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not, So we have all of that. And then I sit down, I close my eyes, and oh yeah, talk. Now, I'm not telling you it's easy, because when your son will now tell you that, Mom, at school today, I did this, I stole somebody, the mother will want to, hey, it's like, remember, you want them to be able to tell you, right? So those are some ground rules to make sure, that you don't want to be judgmental of them or shame them, okay? And then also just understanding that developmentally, that's where they are. For a 15-year-old to be withdrawn is normal, seriously. You just want to make sure that they are safe, that they don't have any depression or whatever going on. And that is going to come from you being nurturing, being caring, and creating opportunities, for social times, eating together. Teenagers will always like food, create opportunities for food. Food fuels friendship. So, yeah, even if they don't want to eat it with you, they can go out, or here, get some things for your, food is a very big deal breaker. So that's what I'll say. But please feel free to connect with us. We will put in our what do you call it? Email, and numbers where you can reach out to us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that beautiful response. I just want to add that the teenage is a very peculiar age, a very peculiar stage or phase on the journey to development. And just like she said, that's the period where they withdraw. But we expect a lot from them. And that is why it's our expectation that is making us feel something is wrong, something is wrong. Nothing is wrong a lot of times, really. But what I would just also add to it is you need to be consistent of parents to show love, to give them the attention they want. They will come out of it. I'm saying this as somebody who had a daughter. My daughter is going to be 20. And right now we are good friends. Like, she's in school, we talk every day, we talk every day. And it is because when she was going through that phase, I was patiently waiting that, yeah, you will come out. Yeah, you will come out one day. And now she's out because I waited. The friendship, just grew. And Chris used to say something that parenting is an 18 years curriculum, that at the age of 18 or 19, then you will get your report card. If you don't handle that stage well with them, go through that phase well with them, it might be difficult by the time they are becoming adults. So affirm them, just like you said, let them know that you're always available to be a friend, to talk to them, love them, don't judge them, don't label them. We are good at doing that. We are quick to do that. And that's how we are losing our children. Let's be their friends. Let's be their friends. Joke with them. Pull her out. Let her come and dance. Most of them, their friends, this is the playground now. We used to go out to play. You will go to Mommy Shola's house. Everybody will meet in fact, we call it 45 Station Road. We meet, all of us will meet there. And we start going where you will go and be dropping everybody in their house. They are still escorting you, you still come back. And That's the way we grew up. But this is their own reality. This is their playground. This is everything, and we can't dispute that, but we can always help them to balance and use this, and to balance and use it well.
Let me just quickly add. Let me quickly add to that. You see, what you said is very, very powerful. There was a time we had issues with Enoch. He would not talk to us. He would not do anything. And we were sharing with one of our friends. You know, I mean, sometimes you are so much into this thing that you yourself, you need other people to help you. And in talking to our friends, they said, create a group of you and the two of you and him. Create a WhatsApp group where the three of you are talking on the group. That was it. He will talk, you know, on WhatsApp. He will text. Don't call him, he doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, they don't want to talk.
Yeah, but he will text, right? So the moment and I mean, you saw why he posted it, you know. So we will do more of texting and more of connecting. And it's like, no shaming, if that is where you are. So you may have to do that, you know, connect with them on social media as well. You know, their posts, comment on their posts, follow them, you know, comment on their posts, give them thumbs up there, be liking them on social media as well, because those are the things that fuel that generation, you know, be trumping them up there, be loving them. And someone was sharing about Gen Zers that you have to affirm them regularly and early. Gen Zers, you have to affirm them regularly and early, consistently. So, yeah, be there, like, be talking about them publicly, you know, not just privately on social media. And it's going to help with that, you know, relationship. Book appointments with them via WhatsApp message. Yeah. Like, I would like to talk, you know, can we make a time, you know, we want to hang out. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Please don't judge them. Don't judge them if you go on their social media handle. Don't judge them. Just give them thumbs up. Let them know, or else they will block you. They will block you. I know my daughter recently, no, not recently, I think it was last year. I kept passing comments on her status. I'll check the status. And she was like, Madam, I think you are now a monitoring spirit. You want me to block you like I blocked Daddy? I said, no, don't block me. Please, I'm sorry. I said, no, don't block me. Please, don't block me. So if I see anything, I just laugh. I send emoji of laughter. Then later, I now say, hey, so that thing that you post, do you think? Then we talk about it, and she's free to talk about it. But if you judge them, they'll block you. They will block you. That's their playground. And that is our reality. That is our new normal. We just need to know how to balance it. And calling for once in a while, sitting together to gist as family, maybe once in a week, having dinner together, watching soap opera together. These are the ways we can also get their attention. And for those of us that still have children that are younger, lucky you, you want to do it right, so that by the time they are 13, 14, 15, they are not locking themselves in the room. They know that, oh, this is family time. You need to learn to create that structure. All this will be taught in the class, New Rules of Parenting. The link is there in the chat, and we do well to register and take the class. Thank you very much, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Israel Augusta Olaore. It's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. And I wish we can do more of it. I wish we can do more of it. And so I'm still going to reach out to you. We need to collaborate, because the vision is to help create a future that our children and the children's children, the generation unborn, is able to thrive and live healthy. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I want to believe it is well spent. Yes, I'm going to call you. Yes, I'm going to call you. I want to believe it is well spent. And so I want to see in the chat box, what are your take homes? What are your take homes? Okay, I see somebody. Who is this? James said, my dad is 71 and my mother 63 years. My home is actually the opposite of all you have said. There's no communication, there's no connection, no outward expression of love, always on correction. Sorry. Always on correction. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'll end up like my parents because I'm seeing the traits in my relation to my siblings. And that is because of how I was brought up. But with aged parents, I'm very happy for this high opening program. Please, any key outlines on how to flush out my upbringing for a healthy one? Nadia Laura, do you want to take that up? Please reach that email address. Nadia Laura has dropped, Mrs. Olaore has dropped their email address. I'm sure they'll be willing to help you.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a tendency that we need to go to therapy to flush that pattern. Like I said, why at the course of this program, is there any one of us in these shoes? It's not your fault. And the truth is, we can excuse even our parents. If they knew better, they would have done better. But you see, it is our responsibility not to remain there. So it is our responsibility. Thank God we have information. And I think part of the things that made it worse in their own time was there was no social media, there was level of information is myopic and it's not well. Just few people have this level of understanding. So thank God for this generation. Thank God for social media. And let's get help. Let's get help. Remember, don't let your ego play out. This is because we desire the best for everyone. So, Daddy Olaore, do you want to give us your last word? Mommy Olaore, let's take you first. You go. Your last word.
Okay, yes. For that person that said they need to be flushed out, you are, for the fact that you even showed up in this program, you are like 50% down the road, because awareness is key. Now you are aware, okay? So going forward, but I just want to celebrate you for that. Now, one thing that I want to say about healthy masculinity is two things. One, my husband is aware of his male privilege. For us, coming from an African patriarchal culture, there are male privileges and there is male dominance. That's what patriarchy is. Just for the fact that you are a man puts you at a different place, And one of the things that my husband has been able to do is that he uses his male privileges for me as a space holder, and that is a secured man for you. My husband is very much aware that when he goes somewhere, he will be recognized, acclaimed more because he's a man, In fact, there are times when it can be as simple as, it is Dr. Israel Olaore and Mrs. Yetunde Olaore. So it's Dr. and Mrs. My husband would be like, no, it's Dr. and Dr., both of us, That is how my husband is. He will use that privilege to create space for me. That is a healthy man. That is a secured man. And I just wanted to put that shout out, to him, that it's, if we're going to have this kind of wholesome relationship, then our men need to use their privilege to uphold the value of women. And then secondly, my husband, because he's healthy in his masculinity, he did not think it's anything to ask for help. My husband, we paid for therapy, seriously. So many of these discoveries that is coming out and the way he is comfortable with himself and all of that, and I said it was a growth. This is the outplay of him getting help, finding a place where he could unburden his pain. I could not be that therapist. I could not be that therapist. He had to get outside help. And he came back healed and healing. That is a healthy man. And what we are seeing today and we are celebrating is an outcome, of that. So I wanted to add those two things. And then finally, we grow through the things that we've grown through. We grow through the things that we've grown through. We grow through the things that we've grown through and we go through. So the fact that it is painful, don't back off. Let's stay with it, because at the end of the day, we are going to be better. We're going to be more wholesome. Thank you so very much.
My wife has said it all. I don't have anything more to say.
Say your own.
So I would just say to the men,
Yeah.
Get help and grow. Don't stay where you are. If it's not comfortable, still find somebody you can talk to that can help you walk through whatever you're going through. I'll also recommend highly the class that is being posted. Praise for Owe is a great teacher, very knowledgeable and well-learned, exposed and experienced. So if you want to learn how to be a better parent for this generation yet unborn, I think it's a good thing to sign up for the class. Okay. That's all I would say. It's been wonderful being in this space, and I believe that I've learned a lot and it's been beneficial. I want to thank my wife for all the things she has said about me publicly. Thank you. You're muted somehow. You're muted.
I was saying thank you for being safe and secure in yourself and allowing her to do the things she did and she's doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being good example to point to this generation.
Thank God.
We celebrate and appreciate you.
Thank you.
We look forward to see many more blissful years ahead.
Amen.
In Jesus' name. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. So guys, like I said, while we started, part of the things we do at the center is to subsidize our therapy sessions. And so the admin had dropped the phone number. You can reach out to the office via this meeting. And the recording of this meeting is on YouTube. Admin, please, can we share the link to the YouTube, share the YouTube link so that people can watch again. Thank you very much, everyone. With this, we come to the end of the September edition of Family Meeting. We look forward to having more of this. And if you agree with me, we all know that we need the world to be a better place for you and for me. Thank you so much, Dr. Olaore, and have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you very much, everyone. And my name remains Ebunlomo Faole. And yeah, I'm a professional guidance counselor. My PhD is in guidance and counseling with therapy. So I'm a therapist, family systems engineering. I'm a family life practitioner, family life therapist, and also a divorce recovery coach. You can also reach out to me if you want to talk or you want to go through therapy. But mostly you can call the number that have been shared by the admin. Thank you very much once again, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of the day and a beautiful rest of the weekend. Here's my number if you want to reach out to me, or you can reach out to the office number. Thank you very much. Admin, over to you. Music. Bye. Thank you, Modesty.
Ọmọ mi ṣohun rere tí á dára o. Ọmọ mi gbọ́ tèmi tí á dára o. Ọmọ mi ṣohun rere tí á dára o. Ọmọ mi gbọ́ tèmi tí á dára o. Ìyá mi máa ṣohun rere, gbàdúrà fún mi. Bàbá mi máa ṣohun rere, gbàdúrà fún mi. Ọmọ tẹ́ bá wíwà burúkú wọn ní ìyá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ọmọ tẹ́ bá wíwà burúkú wọn ní bàbá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ìyá mi fọ̀nà tó dá mi láyé. Bàbá mi fi wà tó dá mi láyé. Ayé tí mo wà yìí kò máa yé mi o. Ẹ̀yin ni Ọlọ́run kejì mi láyé. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára. Bàbá wa ẹ̀ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára. Ha! Ìyá mi máa ṣeun rere, àdúrà fún mi. Bàbá mi máa ṣeun rere, àdúrà fún mi. Ọmọdé bá wíwà burúkú wọn ní ìyá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ọmọdé bá wíwà burúkú wọn ní bàbá rẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ìyá mi fọ̀nà tó dá mi láyé. Bàbá mi fi wà tó dá mi láyé. Ayé tí mo wà